कल तो ट्रायल किया था तो चल गया था क्या?
We are live now.
हाँ
Yeah, sir. It's working now. Thank you. Thank you.
मैसेज आया
Yes. Yeah, it's working. We are live now. Welcome everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and value members of the audience. It is with great pleasure and honor that I am here with you today. Yeah. Yeah, it's working. We are live now. Welcome everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues. There is some lagging. So what should I do, Ravinder? I am getting some voice from
Yeah, there is some echo.
echo, which is coming up because I am opening both the things.
You can mute your YouTube
Yeah.
voice.
Yes.
Yes.
Full
Okay.
lag.
Yeah. I have done that. Yeah, I think then it is okay. Now I can, because I was hearing my own voice. I'm so sorry about it. So it's a great pleasure and honor that I'm here today to celebrate National Statistics Day with you all. I'm grateful for this opportunity for being host of the program. Based on my 15 years of experience in data analytics, my analysis revealed that everyone aspires for the three basic things, that is health security, financial security, and social identity. So we have recently observed the International Yoga Day, which ensure us for the health security. But here we are organizing National Statistics Day so that we can also make sure that how we can secure our social identity as well as the financial stability. So based on this, we have given the theme of this program, the career opportunities for the statistics students in various fields. So education and career are the two intercorrelated aspects of individual life, but they serve different purposes and contribute to the personal and professional growth in distinct way. Education provides the foundation of learning and help individuals develop critical thinking, problem solving ability, and a broad understanding of the various subjects. Whereas career refers to an individual's chosen profession involving a series of jobs, contribute their overall professional development and financial stability. Hence, this event may be extremely useful for those who have just completed their education, either it is a graduate or postgraduate degree, as well as for those who are looking for the new opportunities. So once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to all those who are being present here today. Today, let us embark on a journey of intellectual exploration, collaboration, and opportunities. So I'm going to share my screen and talk a little bit about the Biostatistics Consortium. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically what Biostatistics Consortium is, it is founded to improve quality of medical research. What is the concept behind it? I think slides are moving. Because as you can see in the picture, registered, there is a huge gap between the registered and published results. Huge difference because the blue bars are showing the registered studies and red bars are showing the published study. Here, there is a huge, so there are a number of factors which is affecting this, why people are not able to complete and publish their research. So one of the reason is statistical errors because they may cause the large number of deaths, misinterpretation of the research finding. So with this thought, we thought that can we do something to stop the abuse or misuse of statistical methods, especially in medical research. So with this vision and under the guidance of Professor Indrayan sir, we found this Biostatistics Consortium. Its vision is to improve quality of medical research by creating the better collaborative research environment that results in new scientific partnership through excellence biostatistics contributions and provide leadership for making statistical methodology simple and accessible to medical researchers so that research resources are optimally utilized. Now we are also doing the activities, various type of activities such as this one of the, like we sensitize the young ones by conducting capability programs. We also provide statistical services, policy advocacy. We also collaborate for the research projects, conducting surveys. Also, we provide the membership where we look for the experienced and qualified members who can contribute in this noble cause. We are available on the website, biostatisticsconsortium.org. We are also on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter. We generally keep posting our things. And these are the founder members. I'm happy to introduce Dr. Indrayan sir, who's the president of the Biostatistics Consortium. Dr. Satyanarayan Navani is the vice president. Dr. Smita Asthana from ICPO, this is NICPR Noida. And Dr. Rajiv Malhotra is from AIMS, and myself. I think everybody knows. So let me go through quickly. Yeah, so this is about the program. And now I'm handing over it to the Lakshmi. Lakshmi, over to you.
Thank you, Gayatri ma'am. First of all, thank you all of you for being here in this webinar, and happy National Statistics Day. Because of National Statistics Day, we are here. And now I would like to introduce the organizer. So here Dr. Abhay Indrayan sir is a president of the Biostatistics Consortium, and he is a chief organizer of this event. And me and Gayatri ma'am are assisting Dr. Indrayan sir, and Dr. Indrayan sir has been the inspiration for us to do this event. So he is always inspiring us to do such events. So I would like to do some brief about them. So I'm just sharing the slides. So hope the slides are visible.
Yes.
So Indrayan sir, since Indrayan sir need not any introduction about him, that who is he is just a formality I'm doing here. So he's a PhD in biostatistics from Ohio State, and founder, professor, and HOD of biostatistics and medical informatics in Delhi University of College of Medical Sciences. And as we know, and we are inspired from sir, that he is the only biostatistician honored with the fellowship of Indian Academy of Science, and he is having more than 270 publication and presentation in 17 international conference, which is huge. And there are several books he has written. One of the recent book is Concise Encyclopedia of Biostatistics for Medical Professional, and Medical Biostatistics in 2017, and Research Method for Medical Graduates. Thank you, sir, for being here and for including us in this forum. Thank you so much, sir. And the next organizer is Dr. Gayatri, and she's always been my inspiration since I met her. And she is also the postdoc from CCHSA, University of Scotland, Canada. So she is also the General Secretary of the Biostatistics Consortium. She is having a more than 50 publication, including a one book chapter, and she has been visiting scientists at UT Health Science Center, USA, and also the elected members of International Statistical Institute, as we all know very well. And also the elected member in Netherlands Committee of Women in Statistics. She has done huge work, and Ethics Committee and SRC member in Guru Gobind Singh University and DDUH. and CCRAS and NIPER, Jamia Hamdard, and also her introduction not completed, and also the associate editor of Journal of Clinical Orthopedics and Trauma and Frontier in Pain Research. So this is the small introduction about her also. Her area of interest is clinical trial, epidemiological study, systematic review, and meta-analysis and research methodology. You can go through her on LinkedIn as well. So I'm the third member of this organization organizers. I am having the just little intro intro about me. So I am the MPhil in statistics and currently pursuing PhD in statistics. So I am having some experience in clinical trials, especially reviewing the clinical trials for phase 1 to 4, and work as well as work with Max Healthcare and Central Drugs Standard Controls GMR. Now currently I am a biostatistician in Indian Spinal Injury Center, having 9 years of experience in biostatistics field and having 10 publication right now. So now I would like to enlighten us. I would like to request Indrayan sir to say something about for presidential message. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Gayatri and Lakshmi. I am really grateful to you for assigning the organizing of this particular webinar to me. I am not organizing. You are doing it, and let me say that it's entirely your efforts. It's not mine. But on behalf of Biostatistics Consortium, I am happy to welcome you all. We have a galaxy of experts who will hopefully guide on career opportunities in statistics and biostatistics. And we have a large audience across the country. So welcome everybody. The only thing that I would like to say, because we are already behind time, is that statistics really is a very broad subject. And biostatistics is a small part, but it has become very dominant these days. But if I just concentrate on statistics now, there are theoretical statistics, there are mathematical statistics, which generally go to the universities, but there are applied statistics methods which are used in several disciplines. We have econometrics, we have psychometrics, we have engineering statistics, and then we have biostatistics. Now, biostatistics itself is like divided into like medical for human beings, and we have veterinary, then we have for agricultural, for plants, and then we have, I think, several other branches where we are dealing with the biological creatures. I really do not want to go into very many details, and we will have a lot of discussions coming up on various kinds of career opportunities. But I will only mention that if somebody wants to have a successful career in biostatistics, in fact, anywhere, the requirements are like, I have listed myself to say as to what are the requirements on the basis of my experience, is that sincerity is the first requirement. The second is the hard work. The third is the clarity in thought process. And this is where some of us lack. Then we must have a thorough knowledge of the subject. And then we must have the inquisitiveness and learning ability. Then we must have good networking. Now, networking has become important these days, because without networking, we really do not know as to where the positions are lying. And many organizations, many industrial houses, they employ on the basis of recommendations of the peers. So, and then we must have original thinking. And original thinking, what I mean is that particularly those who are already in this profession, they must try to publish by their own name as the first author. So that's what I mean. So if all these things are, if all these desiderata or the criteria are met, I am confident that you will have a successful career in biostatistics. I'll not take much time. I'll just, because there is a panel coming up, and I will be participating in that panel also. So I just give it back to Gayatri for starting the panel discussion. Thank you, Gayatri.
Brief about this, like what we have to do. Let us start the program. I'm sharing again my screen. I hope you can see. Sorry, not this one. I hope it's visible now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is all about the program which we have. Yeah. So we already have the president's message. We have two panel discussions. So we have separated them in this way so that students, the audience can ask separately, because these two are the different stream going in different direction after completing post graduation or graduation in statistics. So first panel discussion, we have experts from academia, funding organization and hospitals. And the second panel is from the industry, CRO and research organization. So we are celebrating this Biostatistics Consortium on the birthday of, how we can forget him, PC Mahalobanis. It's 130th birthday today. So he's basically known, he's a Indian scientist and a statistician from West Bengal. And after completing his physics honors from the Presidency College, Calcutta, he moved to England to pursue his further studies in, again, physics and mathematics at the University of Cambridge. So why he is known for? He is basically known for the best because he has developed Mahalanobis distance, which is a statistical measure for being one of the, and he is also known, always will be remembered, because he was one of the member of first planning commission of Free India. And he is the founder of Indian Statistical Institute. Everybody admire to be there, work there, go there. And he is also known for always contribute because he contributed to design the large scale sample survey. Now I'm introducing the panel one. So in panel one, again, we have Dr. Indrayan sir. I think Lakshmi
Next.
has already introduced.
Yes, next.
So the another panel member is Dr. Srishendu Mukherjee. Thank you, sir, for being with us. He is PhD in microbiology, law graduate, advanced course in strategic management from IIM Kolkata. Management and leadership courses he has done from the Oxford University. And being a medical microbiologist, having more than 2 decades experience in academic institute as well as in pharma company. He has decade experience in national and international philanthropic and government funding agencies, and has been instrumental in supporting the innovative ecosystem in India and beyond. And apart from this, he is always ready. Whenever I call him for any program, he is always available. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We have another panelist. I hope Lakshmi, Dr. Srinivasan has joined. He's former professor of biostatistics department from AIMS Delhi. He is PhD in biostatistics from AIMS only, former, and he is a fellow of Royal Statistical Society, fellow of Indian Society of Medical Statistics. He is WHO fellow and having more than 600 publications with H index of 64 and I index of 340. He has authored a book, Medical Statistics, Principle and Method. We have another panelist, Dr. Pooja. I have been watching her throughout the my career through LinkedIn. This is the first time we are interacting through this platform. Welcome, Dr. Pooja. By education, she is a medical doctor, gynecologist, done the MD from BHU Varanasi. Well-published clinician, researcher, and research enabler. She has also having his organization Apar Health. She is a CEO of Apar Health and founder director and now advisor to Medanta Institute of Education and Research, Gurgaon. She is a chairperson and member of ethics committee, various ethics committees. She has always been supported capacity building program in research biostatistics, and that's how we are connected. We have our one of the very senior member in biostatistics, because when I started my career, I think when I completed my master, if I'm not wrong, Dr. Sharvari. So, I met Dr. Sharvari in Pune very first. She was working in Pune University, and she was very helpful. She has guided me throughout, like what you have to do, where you have to go. That time I was very young. So she is a professor. Right now, she is a professor and head of the director of at Symbiosis University. She has been medical statistician at various research institute and advisor for various pharmaceutical companies and industries. Her interest in translating research into practice led her into undergo training in epidemiology, epigenetics, and clinical trials. She has got many grants from DST and ICMEC, Indo-Canada grants, Matrix grant from SIR, and she has more than 70 publications, international and national journal. Welcome, ma'am. So I welcome all the panelists, and I'll start. I will leave this on the panel and I will pose, because what happened, we have got more than 500 registration. People are watching us live, but it is difficult to involve each and every participant through the Zoom meeting. So we have already asked them to ask your question, what you actually think. So beforehand, like they have time, they don't have to think right now, and they can think and they can register their questions. So we have got more than 500 questions, and most of them were almost same kind of questions we have compiled, and some of the question we are asking, but still we are live. I request all the participants, if you have still some questions which is not addressed during this panel discussion, you may write on this chat on YouTube, and Lakshmi is going to read, or maybe going to transfer in the chat, and then we will try our best to address all the questions as much as possible. So now the most important and very simple question, I would like to start with Dr. Indrayan sir, that what are the career opportunities after doing masters in statistics, because still there are very few institutes which are providing master in biostatistics. So most of the people, like even I have done phd in masters and phd in statistics, and I have transformed myself as a biostatistician. So still most of the people are coming from the statistics background. So what are the career opportunities in this area?
Okay, thank you, Gayatri. I think I have already partly answered your question. I have mentioned that statistics is a very broad discipline these days, and it can be divided into two basic parts, like the theoretical and mathematical statistics is one part, which is generally served by universities. And the other part is the applied part, which where the job opportunities are galore and the careers can really go to any extent. And I mentioned as far as statistics, I am just talking of statistics and not biostatistics for the time being. And I mentioned that there might be that there are large number of opportunities in econometrics. There are large number of opportunities in psychometrics. There are on engineering, and then of course the biostatistics. And now in biostatistics, as I mentioned, we have various branches here. Even the agricultural people also call themselves biostatisticians because they also deal with the biological creatures. So we have agricultural, we have veterinary, and we have human. So all these things are there. Now, as far as I am concerned, my basic, or right from the beginning of my career, is on medical bias, and that's the reason that I call it medical biostatistics and not medical statistics. So biostatistics is veterinary biostatistics, agricultural biostatistics, and then medical biostatistics. So we have large number of opportunities in medical biostatistics. Uh, Particularly as we go along, we will have opportunities certainly in medical colleges and medical institutions, but we have opportunities in pharmaceutical industries, and we have opportunities in uh, the developers, the program developers, such as SAS and SPSS. They also employ a large number of people. So there are large number of opportunities available, and it's increasing every day. people are realizing that biostatistics is required for them to flourish in a medical setup if they really want to do some research. Now, for teaching also, these days, people have increasingly realizing that they have to be, the medical people have to be proficient in use of scoring systems or developing scoring systems, indexes, scales, models. So all those are being increasingly now. I think the thousands of models are available, and people should know, the medical people should know as to where to use which model and what are the limitations and so on and so forth. So now they are employing statisticians to help them out with regard to the use of various statistical tools in their day-to-day work. So that is all that I want to say at this moment. And
Yeah,
then other,
thank you,
yes.
sir. Yeah, the same question I would like to ask Dr. Sharvari, because she is also from the university background. Like, if a person is coming from the master in statistics, what are the career opportunities?
Okay, so thank you. First of all, I must thank the consortium team and best wishes to the participants who joined on the Zoom and even on the YouTube on the occasion of National Statistics Day celebration. So, if you are asking me about the career opportunities, because I mean, my journey is like I used to work in research, then industry, then academia, then industry and academia. So I think I do understand the little bit of research part, then requirements of the industry, following the deadlines, then even the academic requirements. So nowadays in academia, there are a lot of opportunities available for particularly statisticians, and in particular, if you say biostatisticians or medical statistician, because I work as a medical statistician, and if you know that when I started working, so let me tell you little bit about even myself, so that participants will also understand how one can blend the application part of it. So after completing my master's, I was looking for the opportunity for the higher education, and as always, with lot of passion, I thought that I should go for the higher education in some other countries. And then while applying, I realized that for many years, the field of statistics has two philosophical approaches. With fundamental questions like frequentist approach and the Bayesian approach. Then, so I will answer your query during this particular thing. So, and this debate is not really only limited to the academics, because different viewpoints on this question led to the different methodologies. Now, when you are more into practicing statistics, this controversy has nowadays almost diminished, and you will see there are a lot of opportunities in medical statistics with both the approaches. But as a master's student, I feel that I can understand the frequentist viewpoint, which is easy, where there are ample of examples. But for biostatistics community, it is reflected in the classical design of clinical trial, where we look for what would happen if the experiment were repeated many times. Like in clinical trial, we also do have the follow-up studies and things like this. So I felt that this type of applied field of statistics is very interesting. And then my journey started with clinical settings in hospital. And then that is how I entered in medical statistics. So in medical statistics, there are ample of, it's a huge umbrella, to be very honest. One can even decide to work on epidemiological studies. One can even think about genetics, epigenetics, proteomics. To be very honest, for understanding the application part, or because statistics is everywhere, you know the methodology, you know the techniques, but you also need to understand, you also need to have little bit knowledge about the domain where you are applying the statistical techniques. So if you are really keen, even you can go into epigenetics, epidemiology. That is how I train myself with the professional training. Then obviously for clinical trial, there are certain kind of opportunities. But I always felt that if you really wish to sustain or survive in the community, then you also need to understand the research methodology and scientific writing. So because I mean, most of the decisions are, based on whatever you are interpreting for the others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really required.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think with this, let me stop here and then as soon as
Yeah, we'll come to you
go
again.
ahead, yeah.
So my next question is from Dr. Srishendu Mukherjee, because we consider him the representative from the government, and lot of people were asking at the time of registration that what are the government opportunities for them, like after doing the graduation or post graduation. So can you enlighten the participant on this?
Thank you, Gayatri. Firstly, I wish everybody a very happy National Statistics Day. Just remember Professor Mahalanobis. On this day, I have been working with a couple of his team members in a couple of our programs. I thank Professor Indrayan, the Biotech Consortium, for this invite and celebrating National Statistics Day, which is a very critical element. As you rightly said, I think I am only person odd man out in this panel. At least I am not a statistician per se. I am a medical microbiologist, but I have been closely working with my, working with, statistics, because I lead three important missions of the government. One is the National Grand Challenges India, then the National Biopharma Mission, and last 2.5 years, I have the responsibility of leading also the Mission COVID Suraksha, which is responsible for delivering the 5 vaccines which has come out in India. And also, so everything, if you see, has a very critical element of a clinical trial. And any clinical trial without right statistical output or analysis will not take you to a logical conclusion. So there is no question of debating the importance of statistical significance in research interpretation and taking research interpretation to the next level. We work in a funding agency, and we look at almost 1,000 grant applications each year passes. We are called gatekeepers, so we look at gatekeeping of this, and we look at 360-degree approach of selecting a successful grant. And what is 360-degree approach is? It has to have a good science. It has to have a good clinical, the strategy into it. It has to have an exit plan. And it has to have a thorough, analytical approach on what the outcome of that result is coming out, whether that is significant and whether that is useful to be literally taken it to a level where it can be either commercially exploited or can be, taken up as a policy decision to be implemented at the various state or national levels. There, the importance of statistics comes into play. Any data needs to be interpreted, has to have a very statistical significance, whether the value, whether the R value is good enough to it, whether it is really useful for interpretation. I will not be taking the exact names, which you are all very well familiar, whether it is statistically significant, whether it has good standard deviations and things like that, whether it is really better than the present standard of treatment or not. This all comes out by good statistical analysis. So there is no question that it is really, really significant to have a good statistical interpretation and analysis for any scientific results to be taken to the next level. That is the gold standard right now. And so that is the first thing. Secondly, if you look at the scope of statistics, as the young students are asking, what is the scope of biostatistics? I think Professor Indrayan in his opening presidential lecture has absolutely very eloquently cleared it. There are a lot of scope, but we should all know to exploit that scope. And he rightly said, you should be inquisitive. You should have, of course, the relevant degree. You should have the right thought process, and you should be eager to learn. Every day comes with a learning, and you should be eager to learn. So that is that we have absolutely there is scope. Now, how you can exploit those scopes? We have a lot of clinical trials programs right now running. We support a lot of CROs. And I think Dr. Bahel is going to speak in the next panel. Monica is going to speak. She will also elaborate on how we support CROs and take them to the next level. So we literally see in our programs that there is a statistician inbuilt into it. We support those fellows or those fellows in those programs. We fund them to hire a statistician into it to take it. That is the one level of support we are giving them to to take the program to the logical end. So we support programs which literally have that a position of statistician or biostatistician built into it, so that the program is successful. That is the one level. Coming to the academic settings, Welcome Plus DBT India Alliance, which is a flagship fellowship program of the government. We have a lot of fellowship programs which looks at a lot of data analysis work into it, and we have a dedicated fellow we call Margdarshi Fellows, and which is dedicated clinical fellowship, where also statistician can take the advantage of those fellowships. We have huge programs on maternal and child health, nutrition, where we are looking at a large number of data analytics platforms, where we fund data analytic groups, and which has also a very key element of statistician looking at all over the data platform. We are supporting platforms where data analytic tools are being developed. There also very critical role of statisticians are employed, and we support them also for development. All in all, as I said in the beginning, we have 360-degree approach in supporting not only the science, which is critical, but the exit of science depends a lot on you statisticians, who will tell us that this science which has developed, generated this result, is literally useful or not to be taken to the next level. I think that is the importance, and I once again thank you all for inviting me today and talking to me, though I am not a statistician, but I work with you all, and thank you for that. Thank you.
But thank you, sir. This is not all about the statistician, but you are the job provider, and then you can enlighten the young ones that where are the opportunities. And you rightly said that statistics is the heart of the research, because we validate the hypothesis, what the clinicians are thinking. We help them interpret the result in a right way. Like we have our motto in the Biostatistics Consortium, the improving of quality of medical research, and how we can reduce and minimize the statistical error. So because I know you are in hurry, and then you have, but still you have taken some time for us. But last question I would like to ask, because today morning only I saw, when I just wake up and I got the tweet from, like, this is the notification from Dr. Vijay Raghavan. Today only I have got that the National Research Foundation bill has been passed from the parliament today.
Yes.
And this National Research Foundation is going to be the different level, as I think that it's a huge future for the, and because it is research, again the statistics role comes in. So what is your take into it, like how we can think on this perspective?
Yeah, so this is a great initiative of the government. I have the entire bill I am not privy to right now, but I think what I have read and what I have understood by discussion, this is a great initiative by the government to bring in all research platforms under one roof, so that we have a very strategic approach to solutions which our country needs. Sometimes we work on very silos on a lot of things. So this National Research Foundation will be a unique platform for all of us, maybe a biologist or a chemical scientist or engineering scientist or medical scientist, or and everybody, statisticians, connects them all, will be bringing them all to one platform, so that we literally don't work in silos. We know what we are working in each other's domain centers and how we can connect each other's domain centers, so that the ultimate benefit of the research comes to the society. That is the aim of all of us in the science community and the scientific research community, is that the ultimate findings of the research should come out. That is the most important, so that will be all in the same platform, and we know what is everybody we are doing. So that is one of the great initiatives, so that we all talk, we are talking to each other, we work together. And the COVID vaccine, if you see, we were literally working together around, and I was privileged to lead that entire program. We delivered 5 vaccines in almost 15 months or 16 months or so, which otherwise, if you see globally, Pfizer produced almost 3 billion doses of vaccine. Moderna produced 1.5 billion doses of vaccine. Our country needed 2.5 billion doses of vaccine to give 2 doses to each of them. If would have not made our own vaccine platforms today, we would have not been, who would have given us vaccine so many doses? Our scientist community, our clinical community, our industry, our academic people, you biostatistician who literally looked at the clinical trial, developed the clinical trial protocol, did the analysis, submitted to the drug controller. Drug controller will not accept any, drug master file without good statistical significance and analysis. So I think we all worked with it and delivered 5 vaccines. We didn't have to beg any country to give us vaccines to immunize our countrymen.
That's
And that is the
wonderful.
great achievement our scientific community, the clinical community, the industries, and all the you people who literally analyze the data, literally help to get a fruitful result to our country. So that is the importance of science and statisticians today.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Because I know you are in a hurry, you have to join another meeting. So I request all the participants, if you still have some question, you can email us because you have our email ID, and then I will forward it to Dr. Shishenu, and he will answer all your questions. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Gayatri,
sir.
and thank you, Professor Indra, and entire leadership of Biotech Consortium.
Thank you very much, sir. Nice of
you.
you to join us. We
Thank
are
you.
really delighted to have you with us.
Thank you. I have another meeting to join at 6, sir. So please.
Please,
Okay,
okay.
no problem.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So now my next question is from Dr. Srinivas. He's from AIMS, as I have already introduced. Sir, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So most of the people are asking not only the master of statistics or biostatistics, because they compare themselves that if an engineering student can go and pursue career in data sciences, what the BSc statistics person can do and how they can pursue their career in data science and medical research. Is there any scope, or they have to do the masters only, and what is the scope?
Well, if you ask me, if as a career statistician, if you are looking for a job, I think masters will be definitely helpful, needed. But if you look for a job per se, and depending on your smartness and interest, you can take any job. That's, I guess our focus is on a statistician as a career here. So in that sense, I think doing PG will help you to fine-tune your skills, focus on areas of specific interest to you, and then you can expand to a particular field where you think you have more interest or ability or type of things. So doing PG will be definitely needed if you look for a career-oriented statistician job, not any job. To that extent, I don't know how many of my fellow panelists agree, but this is what I felt. The question you sent me yesterday, I was just thinking about it. So any job is individual's choice. If you are smart, apply for UPSC, civil services. Why data? Why? And you can write banking service recruitment board, anything you like, but career-oriented statistician, I think you need to have specialization, and the techniques these days are so much advanced, and unless one does a PG post-graduation, one is not exposed to this type of newer developments and fields of application. And definitely doing PG will widen the horizon of an aspirant, young aspirant, and he or she will feel more comfortable with getting into a, as you said, modeling type things, as a artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, whatever you want to say. But with simple graduation, undergraduation, I think it is too early or too much to expect a career out of that.
Okay. So if anybody else want to say something about just only on a graduation, because we have got lot of, yes, Dr. Sharvari, lot of questions that what we have to do after, because they don't want to do lot of studies. And if there is any course which they can pursue, just only diploma or some programming skill or something. So what is your take, like just after doing the
So,
graduation?
Dr. Gayatri, this is quite interesting, and because I deal with the students, so that's the reason I thought that I must pitch in. And I totally agree with Dr. Srinivas, because even at Symbiosis Statistical Institute, we offer master's program where we are offering specialization as data science. And because this question is in relation with the BE, engineering people per se. So we also do have, engineering people. After doing engineering, they even go for job, and they understand that we are just writing codes and running codes and doing this kind of things, but analytical understanding is missing. Okay. And that's the reason they come for this particular program by leaving their job which they are doing. So I definitely feel that only doing graduation is not really suffice. You must do the post graduation, and then that is how it will be very easy entry for you in any type of industry, whether it is industry or academia.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to say something on this? Or
Can I add
let's,
just one
yeah,
sentence?
sir, please.
What we have really not discussed so far with regard to the biostatistics is the employment opportunities with big hospitals. Now, these days, almost all big hospitals run their DNB courses, and they need a statistician. But in addition to this, they also want to analyze their own data. Now, because everything is online and everything is available, and hospitals have now become sensitive, they want to extract their data and want a able statistician who can really guide them as to what future with regard to various treatment strategies and with regard to the use of various facilities like ICUs and ventilations and so on and so forth. So, and big hospitals are already employing. Now, the second thing that I want to mention is that government sector universities will generally advertise, but hospitals will rarely advertise. And similarly, maybe pharma industry also, they rarely advertise. So what is needed is a good networking. So don't underestimate that. That is required for going ahead in the profession. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So my next question is from Dr. Pooja. Because she's from the medical background, as well as she has worked with the hospitals, and she has designed many courses related to the biostatistics, being a clinician. So like, what you think that what are the opportunities in medical colleges, like if somebody does the MSc statistics or biostatistics? Can you enlighten our young ones?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to begin with congratulations to everybody on the National Statistics Day. Thank you, Dr. Andarayan. Actually, the Biostatistics Consortium was something that was needed long time back. And I'm glad that, you actually started it and got it going. And thank you so much for inviting me. I'm going to give one comment on Dr. Srinivas's statement that, a master's is required, and Dr. Shraviri said so too. I believe in today's world, these youngsters are actually quite confused. So definitely a master's is required if you want to be a career statistician, as Dr. Srinivas said. But many youngsters are unclear about what they really want to do even after they've done their BScs. So it's not necessary, I feel, to jump into an MSc. You could take a break and you could work at a clinical research unit, which could include, a smaller hospital unit, or it could work in a CRO or an ARO or whichever place that you want to, and then learn from there. And Nirali, who's on this panel, she runs some interesting programs on biostatistics training as well. My own programs are not specific to biostatistics, but they are an overlay. So in case any students want to come and learn clinical research who are pure biostatisticians, then that can actually be a useful, translation for them. While you were talking about medical colleges and whether the opportunities, I'm not working at a medical college, but I do know of hospitals like Dr. Indrayan said, and, worked with groups, even I've worked a little bit with Max in Medanta and several other hospitals. I realized that, yes, there is immense need for statisticians at hospitals like ours. So again, like sir said, that there is a lot of, outcomes research that's being done, real world evidence. There is continuous data crunching. There is continuous looking of, clinical outcomes, surgical outcomes, continuous modification of therapies teams are doing because they want best, outcomes for their patients, especially with quality metrics being run by NABH, by JCI, and the hospitals now, all of them being NABH and JCI. So they're all looking to actually have numbers to be able to say. And who better than statisticians to provide those numbers? So I think, young statisticians must take an opportunity to definitely explore, hospital as an opportunity for a career, and then look at whether they want to do a master's or a PhD. I mean, always academics is always useful to go into details. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So in continuation with this, okay,
Gayatri, I'll just add one more point to
Sure.
this discussion. That in hospital, say for example, we need to dig for the data, but in hospital you get data, right? You don't need to go anywhere. Data gets generated. And most important thing is most of the hospitals now in India, big hospitals or chain of the hospitals, they do have the electronic health record. So as a statistician, we normally feel that most of our time goes in cleaning the data. But here in hospital, it is relatively less that we don't need to spend much amount of time in cleaning the data. So that's really good opportunity to work with hospital. And you name any department, right? From community medicine, even in pharmacology. So all these departments, they need statistician. And because they are generating data automatically, knowingly or unknowingly, so that's the reason there are good opportunities for statisticians to work with the hospitals. Apart from the clinical trial, yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, like in continuation with this, again, I want to ask one more question to Dr. Pooja, that people are also asking to go in the public health field. So after doing masters or only simple graduation in statistics would working in the public health, or what they have to do if they want to pursue their career in public health?
So a master's in statistics would definitely be required if they want to get into public health. A bachelor's in statistics is too small a degree, and it's very, very overview. And many institutions are not able to provide the skill sets that are needed, even at a bachelor's degree, even at a master's degree. So the quality of statistical training, I must definitely comment upon, if Dr. Indrayan allows. In India, the institutes, there are several statisticians who we've interacted with, interviewed, and you realize that they do not understand basic terminology. Many of them are great statisticians. They are not able to communicate at all with a clinician. Though there is two different levels of statisticians. There's this brilliant statisticians who cannot talk biology at all. Then there's a group of statisticians who do not even understand statistics. So it's actually, I believe, training really needs to be improved. So a BSc or an MSc is not really the concern. It's a question also of what's the training that institution has given them.
Okay, so you are saying the masters. Master is required for pursuing career in public health. Okay, so Dr. Srinivas want to say something. You are muted, sir.
What Dr. Pooja has raised is very relevant, very important, and it is a fact. For example, I don't want to quote anybody, I quote my own case. I did MSc from biometrics from Pune University, which is one of the best in those days. I don't know the present day. But for me to understand what is a regression coefficient, after 1 year after my joining ICMR, I realized what is the importance interpretation of a regression coefficient. So I'm telling you, there are so many gaps. And as she said, there is a lot of gap between a clinician and the biostatistician. Mainly I see because the lack of enthusiasm or receptiveness from biostatisticians. Having worked for more than 4 decades and all along in my career, I worked only with hardcore clinicians. And you need to pin them. You need to, if they say coronary artery disease, please tell me where it starts. I realized there are a lot of, it's a simple factor, single vessel disease, double vessel, triple vessel. It is a serious confounder for any mortality or prognosis. So you need to understand you need to talk in equal terms. For that, as I say, it is important, but it cannot be, ma'am, there is no college, university which teaches this. And you have to have interest, you be receptive, and over a period of time, through your work, one has to learn. But what is important is one has to realize the importance of it and be receptive. And in a jocular sense, what Dr. Sharwari raised, the domain knowledge. Simple, if you want to regress BP and age, If you have the biology, you keep age as a dependent variable or BP as a dependent variable. If you don't know what happens, what is the interpretation, you can understand. So this is the thing, the domain knowledge is very important, but I'm sure it will be learned only if you are receptive and realize the importance of it. And that is the one that separates a biostatistician from any other statistician.
Absolutely, rightly said, sir. So, like, how about the internship program nowadays? Everybody is doing after this. So, if people are doing internship after completing masters or during master in hospitals or wherever field they want to pursue, is the internship going to help them? So, this is the question from all the panelists. Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Pooja.
Okay, so I believe again the internship is the duration of the internship is very critical. Who are they interning with is very critical, and what is the focus area they're interning on. Sometimes what will happen is the internships are of very short duration. All they are really used for is keyword run that program, software,
Just for
software,
the sake
software.
of getting
Yeah,
certificates.
so that I don't think really adds value to anybody, whether it doesn't add value to the student, institute, or anybody else. I believe the internships can really add value provided they are done seriously and you have a focused and your mentor is understanding what you're really wanting to achieve, which is not something which is very common, but I'm sure there are institutions that are doing excellent internships. I'm happy to say that Medanta is running a good internship program under Dr. Padam Singh. So people can definitely join, and these are opportunities you should explore before you commit yourself to something. At a BSc or an MSc level, you haven't yet committed. So you should definitely explore different kinds of opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay.
To add to this, sorry.
I echo the same sort of views as Dr. Pooja. Most important thing is duration of internship is really important, and where you are working. Say for example, from Symbiosis Statistical Institute, we do have two internships, where one is summer internship and another one is winter internship. So what I could see is because we work in medical domain or per se in bio domain, a lot of data confidentiality is also there. Then there are some kind of legal frameworks. However, I feel that the shorter duration internship, people will not like to share the data immediately, within 2 months time. But it is helpful for the students because they understand where they are lacking, how industry works. There are a lot of things. Even they do understand the soft skill requirements and things like this. That is helpful. And then with that sort of prior understanding, they can go for the longer duration internship. Like at our case, we do provide the winter internship for 4 to 6 months, and then that is how people also get the placement in various hospitals and industries. So though internships are required, though internships should be the integral part of the teaching learning process, but the duration and where they are working, that is more important.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So the last question, then we'll have to take some of the questions because it is some very much questions are coming from the YouTube also. Lakshmi is writing to me. So let's take last question, which we have already sorted out from the registration form. So this is like the student want to know after completing master's degree, either it is in biostatistics or the statistics, what are the courses required other than the master degree, which can enhance their thing or they can get the job in medical institute or academic. So what are the courses you suggest? So starting from Dr. Indrayan sir, and then we'll go one by one, all the panelists.
Well, I wish that we have like bridge courses. Now we need bridge courses, which means that they relate statistics or conventional statistics to medical sciences, as Dr. Pooja Sharma has very rightly mentioned. The gap between these two sort of disciplines is so huge at this moment that one cannot communicate with the other. So we need bridge courses, and just somehow or the other, we really do not have many at this. In fact, I am not really fully aware of any course where. But for example, we are now trying to build up a course where the statisticians can learn some medical aspects, particularly medical statistics aspects, and so that they are able to communicate with the clinicians at a level, so to say, same level. So those courses are required. I don't think that we really have many in this country.
Okay. So anybody else want to say something if they know any such courses, any institutions running at Dr. Pooja?
Dr. Srinivas is speaking at it. Sir, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah. After finishing your MSc, if you have free time, I would recommend definitely one should acquire skills of statistical softwares, programming. For example, SAS. SAS itself is a qualification. Okay. So one can do that, and which will, if you are fortunate, your instructor, SAS instructor might teach you how to interpret the result also. If you do a regression analysis or an odds ratio, he might help you to interpret it, and one can build further on that. So statistical softwares is definitely, I think it will be helpful for a fresh statistician who finished his or her MSc, and especially SAS, any software for that matter. For me, I
So,
have
sir, yeah, specific any software, because I am also using SAS, but SAS is something limited to the organization because I keep changing organization sometime. So if that organization having SAS, then it's okay. Otherwise, if I'm changing and that particular organization, they are not, they don't have that software, then
Yeah,
it
you
is
can use
difficult.
R. R is a
compare.
very good software for
You see,
statistical
it is like
analysis.
driving a car. It's like driving a car. If you drive as a Desire or an Alto or a Mercedes, it's a car after all. So how does it matter? So it is, one has to, you see, you get the maturity to apply the technique and get the desired result. Once, if you know one software, you can easily adapt yourself to any other software where your organization has. So I don't see any difficulty. If you start with me, I started with SPSS in 1982. First time in India it came. Then I switched to BMDP. Then I switched to SAS. Then I settled for Stata. You see, it is not a big deal. Once if you know one software, the syntax varies, which you will learn anyway. There are help files. There are, so will Google is there. So many help files are available. You can take a template, modify to your needs, and over time you will become an expert. So it's not a big deal. I don't, but SAS it itself is a qualification, because on SAS alone you can get a job.
Yeah, absolutely agree, sir.
That is what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
So, Dr.
But
Pooja, you want to add
yeah.
something?
So I actually feel that, statisticians, if they have a small clinical research exposure, so, my own group, Apar Health, we run an online learning program, and this is a short program. It's a small program. It's around 20 hours, and it will give them a really good orientation about a little bit about research ethics, research methods, understanding public health. It gives them an overview of what things are versus just jumping into the stats paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives them a bigger picture understanding of what they're doing. Also makes them more engaged with the team. They become a team player instead of just a background data person. So I strongly feel, especially those who want to work in a hospital setting or in a CRO setting or an ARO setting, must definitely look at some clinical research training programs. And of course, I will suggest to look at the Apar Health and Medanta research program that we run.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dr. Srinivas want to say something. Sir, you are muted. Sir, you are muted. You are saying something, you are muted.
There is no denying the fact of the importance of research methodology as such. But I can't teach everything in whatever time you give me, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If I have to talk about confounding, I can't talk about what is a p-value. So one has to be good enough in a p-value, power type things. Then I will say what is a confounding, how it matters in a research methodology, why blinding is important, sorts of things. So one has to graduate to that level. So unless that is there, simply taking research methodology, you teach anything, the results will be very minimally beneficial.
Okay, Dr. Sharvari, you want to say something?
Yeah, so by taking the same thread, I think, see, statisticians are smart people. They should hold two expertise. One is obviously statistics, and another one is the area where they wish to apply the knowledge. And if you wish to be a good statistician or say biostatistician, basically you should have some kind of biological understanding. Then you must learn the epidemiology and the clinical trial. Then you will be able to understand effect modifier, bias, confounder, and all those kind of languages. Coming back to your question about the softwares, though I partially agree with Srinivasan sir. However, what happens, SaaS comes with huge cost, and I'm not representing any sort of software industry. However, there are a lot of other platforms where in open domain you can get the analytical software. Say, for example, like Vaishnavi was telling, R is there. In industry, there is a lot of requirement for Python. So we train our students at least in R and Python. However, if you wish to go into, say, for example, image processing, then you need to understand, or you need to have the little bit understanding about even MATLAB. That helps in in the image processing. So there are ample of opportunities like this if you do have, especially for biostatistician, if you do have your own expertise along with epidemiology and the clinical trial. Plus, if you can catch hold of this recent technology, I mean, they say that you are getting hired for attitude and then train for skills. So if you can skill yourself in those kind of softwares, then sky is the limit for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So we have some of the question from the YouTube question answer session. Swarna Sharma is asking, what is the minimum qualification for assistant professor cum statistician in medical colleges? So I think Dr. Sharvari and Dr. Indrayan and Dr. Srinivas, who worked in medical colleges, they can answer this question.
So at Symbiosis, we also do have the Symbiosis Medical College only for women, which we are
Only
really
for women. That's great to hear.
which we are really proud of. When it comes to this kind of positions, definitely, I mean, nowadays, because research is mandatory. Okay. Otherwise, also, I mean, it should not be separate from academics and research. But what I could see is minimum PhD is required if you wish to have these kind of positions, along with minimum 2 publications at the entry level. So
Not
this
for
is minimum
assistant.
qualification. Yeah.
As far as I know, for universities these days, as per UGC recommendations, for assistant professor's post, masters in the concerned subject is enough, and then you have to complete your PhD within a certain period. Okay. After employment. So you can do that after employment also. PhD is desirable, yes, but it's not a prerequisite for the post of assistant professor.
Okay, Dr. Srinivas, you want to add something?
I think for AIMS-like institutes, it is 3 years post PhD is essential, 3 years experience. Okay. AIMS-like institutes. But as far as NMC's guidelines are concerned, nowadays they are taking even PhD, fresh PhD is also being taken as assistant professor. And I'm not sure how many medical colleges have this post at all, because they don't want a statistician to be a faculty. Most often they give as a biostatistician or senior demonstrator type things, at best lecturer. So PhD, AIMS-like institutes, PhD is a must. And then 3 years if you have post-PhD, AIMS-like institutes are, you can hit, try, and otherwise also the other medical colleges which are controlled by NMC and National Board of Exams like this.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I'm reading, I don't know I am getting the question correctly, but I'm reading as text as it comes. For the networking, with big hospitals, there is risky role of mentors. Like Professor Indrayan said, new job seekers, UGs and PGs may be lacking in that aspects. Mentor program should be initiated.
Yes, I fully agree that mentor program is needed in order to have a good networking later on. Yes, because the fresh masters holders will not really know very many. But yes, that's a limitation, in my opinion, uh, for certain jobs, particularly in hospitals, because they seldom advertise. So they just try to find out somebody who is known to somebody. That kind of thing. So the networking is required. So it's better. It is somehow, even while you're studying, it's better to keep in touch with your seniors and those who are working in various setups, that so that you can have some opportunities available right after doing the post graduation.
Okay. Thank you,
So,
sir.
I would like to add, this is a very important aspect, but somebody to come and mentoring and all, who will hire a mentor, we know the mindset of hospital administrators, especially towards biostatistics specialty. So I think it is not a realistic aspiration to really expect that somebody will hire a mentor and he or she will come and mentor. So, but what my experience is, as you gain experience, if you sit in a multi-specialty hospital, any special clinic itself has useful data. You try to enthuse your own clinical colleague to make a small database and try to enthuse them to look into what they have been doing in the past 1 year, in the past 2 years. Like that, that leads to gradually, if it leads to a small communication, it will enthuse the people. So I think I agree with the concept of having mentoring and all, but which is my personal opinion, is unrealistic to expect a mentoring type scenario. But a statistician who joins as a faculty especially, and if she is interested to develop, contribute for your own specialty, you should interact with your own clinical colleagues, enthuse them. If they can produce a paper which have not been done in the last 10 years, we have achieved a great thing. If they can produce a paper which is going to 0.51 impact factor, you make it to, by your involvement, make it going into a journal impact factor of 2, 3, you have achieved. That's how I see a biostatistician's role, to really not only doing his work, in that process, you develop, contribute for the growth of the institute, your own colleagues, and that will in turn help you for academic rewards and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so Dinesh Walia is again asking in continuation that the medical institutions started to appoint only non-faculty statistical personals at very low salary structure, only on the contractual basis. So that may hamper the quality. So what you have to say on this? I think Dr. Sharvari and Dr. Pooja, you want to take on this?
It's a hard reality. You can't, I'm telling you, because you see, I mean, without taking any names, there are different views. You talk to any clinician, you will find different opinions about research. A surgeon will never like to, he is happy if she cuts and I do so many surgeries. That's it. See, there are differences of opinion even among clinicians about research, the need for research, the importance of it. And then there are clinical departments like community medicine who will take care of the undergraduate teaching of statistics, biostatistics. So there are different interests. So it is a hard fact that medical NMC's recommendation higher, as I said earlier also, they will appoint as a, biostatistician or what they say, not lecturer at the best. So it is a fact. Yes, it is a fact.
I'm just going to say something that, my mentor used to say, is that, you go after excellence and money will follow. So it's, if a person starts with the concept of wahan pe kya naukri aur uski kya starting salary is not the target of people. Okay. The people need to target excellence. Right. And as like Dr. Srinivas is saying, I feel that in the last 5 years, research and environment in healthcare has changed immensely. There are now specialty clinics like IVF groups who are looking for statisticians. They want to publish internationally. They are cosmetic surgery, dermatological units. They know unless and until they publish internationally, they are not going to be able to attract international patient. So there is a market value for them, and they are trying to get that publication in, and they need good statisticians. So it's a question of where you want to be and what's the position, what's your exposure, and how you want to excel. So what's the drive in you versus, what's the starting salary? I don't think that's
Said
the
and
right
done,
question.
ma'am. A statistician, a biostatistician cannot be a biostatistician on de novo on day one.
Yeah, that's
He or she has to evolve depending on the environment, depending on the individual's effort, interest.
that's
So to get an expect a biostatistician who will answer everything for a clinician at the time of recruitment is too much. It's too much.
But that,
So what I could see is it is quite interesting. However, I could see that, see, as a biostatistician or as a statistician, you cannot work in silos. You have to apply these techniques in some area. And that's the reason I always feel that you should be with the people, interdisciplinary people who work on various aspects. And those people should ask you very, very intelligent questions for which you will analyze the data and give them the data driven sort of solutions. And that's the reason you need to be surrounded with people who are, asking you particular kind of question. And that's the reason you need to have the, very clarity in problem statement, so that you will be able to analyze the data in a particular way. So, say for example, whatever I am today, it is most of the credit goes to the clinicians like Dr. Yadnik or say Dr. Rajiv Erwadekar, because they used to ask me intelligent question which they used to answer through the data. And then as a statistician, we go deeper and deeper and start understanding. So it is not the question of, other things. It is question of the environment in which you are working with.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for this a very interactive discussion and enlighten our young ones. So in summary, what I would like to say to the audience that only graduation in statistics will not suffice. You have to do something apart from this, like even for the master's statistics or some other courses, you can pursue your career in that area. And from the government perspective, Dr. Shishendu Mukherjee said that there's a huge opportunities in like DBT fellowship programs are there, but for that also you will be required at least master degree in the statistics. And now that this foundation research, National Research Foundation is coming up, which you can see that lot of opportunity. And when you talk about the research, masters is the, that is the cutoff point, that you must have the master degree, because there you learn some practical aspect, because you have to do internship, you have to play with the data, not only the theoretical things which you are studying in master. So that is very much required. And regarding the software, it depends in which organization you want to go and what in which area. But as Dr. Sharvari and Dr. Srinivasan said, that SAS itself is a degree, but you can still, because most of the organization, they still follow that open software, that R and Python. So this is the era of this, but it's still you can pursue courses. Only master in statistics is not sufficient. Even for the internship program, like Dr. Pooja said, there are the bridge courses from the Apar Health and Medanta. And we are also planning to conduct some of the bridge courses where the statistics person can understand the clinicians and they can interact with each other and come up with a good research. So with this words, I am just closing this one panel discussion. Thank you everyone for being part. And I would request you, if you have time, please be with us for the next panel discussion and give your insight in that also. Thank you, because you have worked in several industry as well. You have worked in different field. So I would like to request you to be part of this panel discussion. Thank you. So now I'm sharing my screen for the panel 2, introducing panel 2 experts. I hope it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
So we have our panel from the industry, as I told you, from the CRO and clinical research background. So one of the panelists is Dr. Anirban. I think most of you people might be aware of him. He is the Associate Vice President in Global Research, Global Clinical Research in Sun Pharma pharmaceutical industry, which was earlier Renbexi, if I am not wrong. So this was known as the Renbexi. Now it is Sun Pharmaceutical Industries. So he is having the clinical research professional background of 25 years in pharmaceutical industry. He started his career as a clinical research associate in AstraZeneca India. Now everybody knows about the AstraZeneca after COVID pandemic. He served as a senior leadership capacity at MSD, Bharat Serum, Vaccine Limited, Translational Health Science Institute, Government of India. And very first I met him in THSTI only. Currently, he is currently associated with Sun Pharma and setting up the global data management, biostatistics, and clinical operations. So, because he is setting up, or these of the setting, that's how he is one of the panelists. He can guide us, enlighten us that what are the opportunities in this area. He is also treasurer of Indian Society for Clinical Research, and he is adjunct professor at Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. We have another panelist, Mr. Arjun Roy. I also met him at THSTI very first. Until now, we are connected. He is right now Senior Director at Biometrics at Clinics RX Research Private Limited. He has got a PG degree from in mathematical statistics from ISI Kolkata, and he is having more than 30 years of experience in pharma as well as CRO industry across the globe. He's having rich exposure in designing and analyzing carcinogenicity toxicity studies, NDDS, biosimilar, and phase 3 clinical trial across various therapeutic spectrums. He is instrumental to many new drug developments. He is associated with Karmic Life Sciences, AB Sciences, Sun Pharma, Cytal Software, and Dabur Research Foundation. He is having more than 10 publications and also registered the patent. Welcome, sir. Now, our next panelist is Dr. Monica Behel. We were colleague at THSTI, and I know her, and we have conducted several capability capability building program on research and GCP together. She is right now working with the THSTI, CDSA THSTI as a Chief Clinical Portfolio Management. She is by profession as a medical doctor, trained in project planning and management, over 25 years of experience in clinical research industry, significant experience of managing project in very therapeutic indications spanning a broad spectrum of responsibilities. As a chief CPM, leading the public health research portfolio in collaboration with DBT, ICMR, academics, SMEs, research and funding agency. She also developed overall strategy, lead the clinical trials, studies protocol. She worked with many industries like Renbexi, which is now Sun Pharma, Penicia, Dabur, Quintiles, and DNDI. She engaged in strategic planning and operational execution of the research initiative. She is a senior advisor for CROs and pharma companies. She is ethics committee members and also faculty of the many institutions. Welcome, ma'am. Then our next very fascinating Dr. Nirali Mehta. Everybody knows she is being very active to the LinkedIn and providing lot of very good programs in biostatistics, which is very much required in this country especially. She has done MSc, MPhil, and PhD in statistics and CEO and founder of PharmaStats. A 20 years journey of employee to entrepreneur biostatistics program she's running from 2003 to, so it's been 20 years, very well. So she is earlier previously working with the pharmaceutical companies as a biostatistician, and then she has worked as a DSMB members in vaccine trials, consultant biostatistician at regulatory services, Global People Connection Lead at Healthcare Business Women Association. So we generally know, I generally know Nirali as a statistician, but apart from that, I know her as a businesswoman. She has recently conducted a very big program at Ahmedabad, that is Fuse 2023. Congratulations on that. She is committee member of Jain International Trade Organization. She is a youth talk speakers, motivational speakers, and she has trained more than 400 biostatisticians, conducted 30 plus workshops in biostatistics. Welcome, Nirali. Then
Thank you.
we have one more panelist, Vaishnavi Vedantam. She is MSc in integrated statistics, and she is working as a data scientist in Shell India. She is having diverse background and diverse experience in different fields like banking, finance, insurance. So her experience is going to be very useful for the people, those who want to just pursue I think graduation or post graduation in statistics. She has done certification, conceptual designing, optimization, modeling, integrated process operations, and has been earned from the Carnegie Mellon University. Sorry for this pronunciation, I'm very bad at it. She is proficient in data visualization, predictive modeling, statistical analysis, and process mining that has been developed through the comprehensive education. She has worked with the researchers in many fields, life sciences, psychology, to help them in data analysis. She is a subject matter specialist in R programming and proficient in many tools like Python and Power BI. Welcome, Vaishnavi.
Okay,
So this
thanks
is all
everyone.
about our panelist. Now I'm going to ask question which we have sorted out through the panel two. So my very first question from the Arjun Roy sir and Dr. Anirban. So what are the various job opportunities in private sector? Because you have a huge experience working more than 30 years in this area. So what do you suggest?
So Dr. Chaudhary will go first. I'll go later.
Okay.
Anirban, please go ahead.
Sure. Thank you for this opportunity. Thanks for the kind introduction and thanks for having us here. It's always nice to talk to the young generation because they are our future workforce. So always it's always a pleasure. So today we are actually in world where information is flowing. I mean, I think everything is data driven, and I think data science has got integrated into everything that we do. So as statisticians, I would not say biostatistics at this stage, but as statisticians, I think clinical research is a great area where you have a big role, and that there also somebody can work both as a core statistician where they actually provide inputs into the study design, sample size calculation, and also the data analysis interpretation. And this itself is a very technical stuff, right? And also somebody can work as a statistical programmer. That is itself is a line of it itself is a separate vertical with separate skill sets. Now, apart from that, within the pharmaceutical industry, and I'll talk specifically about pharmaceutical industry because that is where I have spent all my life, in the pharmaceutical industry. In many other areas, you can have opportunities in sales. Basically, this sales analytics has become very important. And if you look at many of the companies actually are setting up their analytics back offices in India where they're hiring a lot of statisticians who are actually analyzing the data, who are interpreting the data. Then many of the companies have opportunity for decision sciences, and decision sciences can be of various in various ways. Decision sciences can be used within the pharmaceutical world. Then again, coming back to clinical trial, I mean, there is a possibility. I mean, the real world evidence studies are becoming more and more prevalent, where the data from the real world can be modeled basically to get the can be modeled to gain approval from the disease, because earlier our standard modalities were that we had to do a phase 2 phase 3 studies, but multiple number of studies. But already there are multiple examples where the US FDA and EMEA have approved studies based on real world evidence data. That requires a lot of modeling. Again, statistics is important. And even if we look at the ICH-GCP, which is our Bible, even ICH-GCP, the latest version, it talks about risk-based study management. And this risk-based study management also involves statistical concepts to be used. So if you look at, there are multiple opportunities within the private sectors. And I specifically spoke mostly about the clinical research, but apart from that, I think within the commercial organization, as I mentioned, there is a huge opportunity where the statisticians can have job opportunities. So over to Dr. Roy.
Thank you, Nirvan. So you have already given good background. See, these days, because we live in a world of uncertainties, and there is already explosion of data. So the scope of statistics has evolved in a very big way. And there are many challenges as a statistician you will face in pharma, apart from the routine job, as he told, as a biostatistician and programmer. And I can tell you what I face. Many times placebo fails. Especially I was involved in diabetic neuropathy in Indian subjects. And pregabalin is such a potent drug. And placebo is as good as pregabalin. And for us, the sponsor says how it can be possible. We have to defend to the regulator. So this is the new domain we have to defend. In many domains, there are still no drug is coming, especially in CNS. Still many drugs are failing. So the role of biostatistician is very, very huge. Oncology, the immuno-oncology, lots of new statistical innovations are coming and they are supporting them. I can tell you, so those are similarly in public health, still we could not achieve success in tuberculosis since 9,000 years, and we are committing, we get very soon based on some medical innovation. So I'm saying there's a huge opportunity apart from the traditional to collaborate with the various scientists in R&D. And in each unit, statisticians are needed. See, I was involved in animal bioassay, cancer bioassay in USA, and European pathologist and American pathologist, they were evaluating in two different ways. Then FDA suggested them, why don't you consult a statistician for reconciliation? So biostatistician is a troubleshooter at many places you can find. Rater analysis or any kind of adjudication. And biostatistician comes with logic. These days, it's not only traditional data analysis, but we do lots of model-based. They are asking, why don't you correlate all phase 1, 2, and then calculate probability of success upfront? Because there are lots of investors in phase 3 trial, and they want to see success upfront. Or the many investors, they invest stage-wise. They say, okay, if we can enroll 100 subjects, what will be the success? So the kind of question, kind of expectation is increasing day by day. And involvement of data analyst or biostatistician, especially if he has a therapeutic knowledge, his thoughts are always appreciated. Because biostatistician has to justify their own logic. Many times I can tell you in clinical trial I'm involved and we have a dual data. So they ask which data we should choose. There is no one way. So biostatistician has to work with the medical scientist. For pre-dose, we have a different consideration. For post-dose, we have to go with different consideration. So it's a collaborative kind of, and it's very much needed biostatistics logic. So if I summarize, the new demand is add mechanism of action also in the model, add previous data also so that power can increase in the decision making, That's why biostatistician is out in lots of portfolio management or the program development. They are the part of a team member, because their logic, their thoughts, it's add the value. But again, I agree with you, these things, the biostatistician, as Professor Srinivas and Dr. Indrayan told, sincerity, patience, they have to learn tumor pathology, because tumor pathology is so huge. I mean, all the criteria, how you combine, how you analyze, how you evaluate. And these days, pharmaceutical statistician is getting as its own, because FDA and European has released lots of guidelines, ICH-E9, multiplicity, missing estimate, imputations. So they are going little bit separate way, where real exposure is required in that therapeutic domain. And as he told, in operation risk-based, as you have to go risk-based. In one trial I was involved, in a mega national trial in Paris. It's not possible to go and audit in the Russian sites or in the Argentina. Now FDA went there and they told, we found lots of kind of data integrity. Then our sponsor told, why don't you do some data analytics and give to FDA? And FDA agreed. So we call them ranking analysis. So we took the site, we took the data. Many times I can tell you, these days some issue comes from ethics committee or German regulators in safety analysis, and they recommend to go and get it reviewed by the independent biostatistician. And they respect the biostatistics logic, whether molecule is safe or not, or the safety signal is positive or probability is higher. So these days it's evolved in many areas. Now it depends upon you. You want to start early after MSc, it's good, you can learn. Or at the end you can specialize. Or in programming, I can also tell you, they add lots of value in data. Biostatistician without programming has no value these days.
Exactly. I absolutely agree, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
So, next question is on the data scientist or data science, which is a very fascinating term. You know, data science. Everybody want to pursue data science, but I personally think that data science is little bit different from the biostatistician, because biostatistician is limited to the medical and biomedical field. But data science, if one want to pursue the data science career, they can go to the business analytics, actuarial science, number of things are there. So data science is the big umbrella. Under that, we are talking about one biostatistics, which is related to the medical or pharmaceutical industry and clinical research. So in this sense, people are asking because they are fascinated. They, like, I can say that in young ones terms, that it is trending now, data
Yeah.
scientist term. So I'd like to ask Dr. Nirali Mehta, then I'll go to the Vaishnavi. Like, what
Can
is
I
your
share
take,
my
Dr. Nirali?
screen for a
Yeah,
bit?
yeah. So let us start with Dr. Nirali, and then
Yeah,
you can
sure.
share. Yeah, sure. So data
Thank you.
scientist, how they want to become, like how they can become the data scientist, and what are the areas where they can go? Yeah, Dr. Nirali.
Yeah, thank you so much. See, first of all, on today's National Statistics Day, I would like to say statistical fundamental remains same everywhere in each and every areas, whether you work in a medical statistics or whether you work in a data science area. Our education system are too good. They are teaching us a lot of various areas during our education. BSc, MSc statistics, during these 5 years, our professors and our colleges are teaching and introducing each and every area of the statistics to us. So in this case, I suggest all statisticians, please remove one word from your mind. That's a data scientist, and biostatistics is a different. You are a statistician, sticks to, first of all, this word, you are a statistician. Statistical fundamental remains same in each and every area. So I'm coming back to my question is data science. So statistics is a part of the whole subject data science. Data science requires computer, hardware, software technologies. It's also required a lot of algorithms, predictive analysis. So statisticians' role over here to support the remaining team, those who are developing these automations and artificial intelligence, to support them through statistical algorithms, decision trees, and also those who want to become a data scientist, they should know Python and other open source languages, because these are the languages who are working more on artificial intelligence. So I request all of fresh students and statisticians who are watching this, please focus on variety of softwares instead of one demanding software in the market, because we are in the world of chat GPT, and here, see, all softwares and their programs will be easily available on the ChatGPT platform. So as a statistician, you should know various programming languages and statistical analysis tools as well. Over to you, Vaishnavi.
I just wanted to share a bit. Can you give me access to share my screen? Okay. Can someone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yeah, we can hear you. I'm just thinking how to. I think we have to make you host for sharing. Just
Oh no, then that's fine. Okay, so
no.
I'll
Just
just
we
post an image.
no. We will make you the host, co-host, and then you can share. Okay. Yeah. Now you will be able to do this.
Okay, so can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so here this guy is John. Okay, so many of us, like, young students and fresh graduates in statistics, would want to know what happens. What is this term data scientist, and what do these people do in many companies that are hiring right now? So a day in the life of a data scientist, what do we do? Okay, so I have been a data scientist for the last 4 years. Before that, I worked as an applications developer for an analytics application in banking and finance, and then later moved into data science roles for an insurance company, and then now with Shell as a data scientist. So there are major things that we do. Okay, so there are things that, what are these things that we do? Okay, so I'm trying to, okay, so we do collect data. For that, we need to know how to extract it from, where to extract it from, and what are the tools that we need for extraction of data. So that is SQL, or an Excel sheet or a CSV. How do I deal with this data? And then I have to clean data. So what do I do to clean data? Data is just not 10 rows or 15 rows where I can say, okay, this row I'll have to replace, probably if there's a missing value, I'll replace it with a median, mean, or a mode when it is a categorical variable. But what I will do, I need to use any of my programming languages, like like R, Python, any other programming language, so to clean my data. And then I also need to build algorithms where I play a role of a statistician. So as just Nirali just mentioned, Dr. Nirali mentioned, we can see building algorithms. So statistician and data scientist are not really too different, but it is just encapped under a big name called data scientist. So we kind of do everything. As a statistician, I collect my data, I clean my data, I build the algorithm, or I know the algorithm that what I have to use for my data that might fit my data, and then do trial and error versions. I do train my data on a particular data set where I use multiple softwares, like any kind of a statistical tool. It could be even SPSS, uh, it could be even Excel. with basic Excel itself, you can do lots of wonders with respect to creating a model or train a model or anything. Okay. And then we generate insights. How do I generate insights? For that, we need to know, or we need to understand statistics very well in and out. If I don't know what a p-value means, if I don't know what an f-score means, it is going to be very difficult for me to generate an insight from it. If I don't know what a correlation matrix will show out, so we will not be able to generate any insight with respect to it. And then the major part comes to communicate and convince people. That is soft skills. You require them big time. All these jobs are done by a statistician. It is just now changed with a different name and different, it is just sophisticated. I remember one of my professors in college used to talk to us. He used to talk to us and mention, you are not going to be statisticians, or I mean, you're not going to just graduate with an MSc, but you're going to be data doctors in future. Okay. So we are the future in any domain. So with all this, you need to know the domain. You need to understand what finances, what business is, and it could be any kind of a business. It could be an aeroplane business. It could be it could be biostatistics. It could be healthcare. It could be, again, healthcare might come under biostatistics as well. So it could be any kind of a business. So we need all these skills to become a data scientist, and these are all very important for us.
Okay, so you're absolutely right that communication skill is very important. That is soft skill. So the people, those who are pursuing career and want to pursue career in biostatistics, they should. So can you suggest some of the courses which they should learn in the soft skill? Exactly. So what or
Okay.
what you want to say with this?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I remember when I was in college and when I was just going for my placements. Okay, so I was I was one among the first people who got placed from the college for statistics department. Okay, so there was something that I searched on YouTube. It's called elevator pitch. We all need to know where to put ourselves in. Okay, so am I good at it? I need to identify what my strengths are first, and obviously all of us will have areas of improvement. Because there are areas of improvement, we should not feel downgraded, or we should not feel demotivated. We should always speak up. We should always be, I know, and this is more of a educational change and everything that has to happen from schooling, that we need to go talk to people. We need to communicate, any kind of a communication. You can just do a basic small presentation with a small data set that you have in your class or in the provided by your professor, and show it to all your classmates and see what they're talking about it. They might make fun of you or mock at you when you do it for the first time, but when you keep doing it regularly, and then you will learn when they talk, and you will learn when they correct you, and you will also learn by talking multiple times. So that will create a lot of motivation and give positive attitude. So that is one. And then build your elevator pitch. So for this, I refer to YouTube. I followed a lot of tips in giving my elevator pitch. So that is one more thing. And yeah, that is something that I can.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so we have another question which is coming from the last panel discussion itself, because I think that is connected with both the type of industry. This question is from Dr. Monica Bell. So Dr. Vaishnavi, can you stop sharing your screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing.
So this is related to the public health again, because Dr. Monica has worked in various fields. So people are still willing, most of the youngster, they want to pursue career in public health as well. So Dr. Monica, what you suggest that what they should do after doing masters in statistics or biostatistics to pursue their career in public health?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Am I audible enough?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, I've been into industry for 12 years and then took my turn towards public health. But I don't think so there's anything different to get into the public health. Research remains the same. The vigor is the same. One very good thing that I have discovered recently is that NDCT rule, wherein we have a Indian GCP guidelines, which says that statistician involvement is must in all kind of research from the beginning. So now we have a guideline and we have a regulation which says that statistician has to be on board. And just to give a like an encouraging remark here, we need statistician more than what you need us. As soon as we have a concept, research concept, we need a statistician. So I think public health remains the same. However, in public health, we are dealing with more of academic data, academic trials, which are spanning from thousands. Industry does little smaller numbers because there's more of a commercial interest and like a limited research questions and objectives. And in public health, we are working on a huge, I think impact is huge because we are changing and modifying policies based on those research. So I think statistician is important there, and we have huge gap there. So we need a battery of statistician to be ready very soon. Like THSTI has been hunting for statistician for such a long time, and one of them was you. And after you left, I think we have 3 or 4 statisticians who have changed. And now the latest one is Dr. Arushi, who has been sent to MRC UK as an observer to understand how they work and replicate the same kind of practices here. So definitely we need you, but we have to get something ready very soon.
Thank you, ma'am, for emphasizing this, that still thing are required. Now, I would like to ask the same question to Dr. Nirali, because she has been to industry as well as she is taking courses. So what do you say on this public health domain?
See, basically, public health domain, all students can go, they can do internship and they can start their work as well. You know, nowadays there is a trend that immediately once they pass out, they want job anyhow, and the job in a global and MNC company and a big shots companies. Okay, so let me express my personal experience to all the students and audience who are watching. Whoever the speakers are sitting here, they have struggled a lot to get into the industry. We have studied and started our career with a small organization with a lot of extra hard work. It's not all about to getting the job, but it's all about to learning as much as possible statistics in the initial stage of the career. So now our main focus has to be to learn how to implement. So in this scenario, if they get the job in a public domain as a volunteer, not paid job or something, they should accept it for initial few months. They have to start and they have to work on it. Additionally, there are a lot of pharmacy students, PharmD students, MBBS, MD students are there. They are looking for statistician supports for their stats analysis of their thesis. So in that case, the MSc postgraduate students, if they have a good knowledge or basic knowledge of SPSS, R, Python, any of the software, right? Any software which is open source available, right? They can go and do the analysis in the softwares and support these researchers. So this is how they will learn and get familiar with the medical terminology, because during this 5 years of our education of MSc statistics, we never studied any biological examples. And yes, if the college has that curriculum, even though it is not so much into the depth, we understand the medical languages, right? So this is my suggestions, that open source, public source, hospitals, basic projects to MD, B.Pharm, M.Pharm students, thesis projects, they must have to grab, they have to approach them and start doing this analysis with the support of their professors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nirali. So coming back to Dr. Anirban, because this was the question which is like, I can say, being a statistician, the highest mode, mean median mode that has pop up with this analysis. So what are the ways to enter into pharmaceutical companies as a fresher? That means a master's, just after completing master in statistics, especially people want to go and join pharmaceutical companies. So what are the ways they can take and those? Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for the question again. And I think this is always the burning question that, and I think a part of it has already been answered by Dr. Nirali. So it doesn't start after you finish your course. Okay, the search for job actually should start when you are halfway through your course. And as Nirali mentioned, in today's world, you need to first understand what the industry wants, and that is where I think the fact that you most of you are attending this program is with an intent that you want to know what the industry requirements are. And once you know the industry requirements, and one of the other ways of knowing it is doing internships. You have 1 month, 15 days, 3 months, whenever you have time, try to do internship, which will actually, and I tell you, many organizations are allowing this internship. And one other thing I need to clarify, it is not only pharma companies. As a statistician, you have, like, there are pharma companies, definitely they have their statistics units, but then it's more but there is more opportunity within the CROs also, because the CROs have actually the much bigger units in India, if not equivalent. And so first of all, doing internship, and most of the organizations actually, most of the organizations allow internship. Apart from that, you also need to be lookout for various small courses or workshops that happen. And I know I also represent Indian Society for Clinical Research, because there is a very strong biostatistics unit, and they do a number of webinars. These are like half-day webinars, and especially meant for you guys, so that, and this is where actually the industry stalwarts actually come and speak. And I think, just, I don't know if you have been able to attend the one some days back, Dr. Ashwini Mathur, who is one of the industry stalwarts, who actually spoke about the career opportunities. I think these are the things which will help you understand what the requirements are. Now, once you gain some understanding, and unfortunately, as I said, that we don't have a very strong biostatistics course here in India. That's why if you are a statistician, you probably have to also kind of bridge that gap. If you want to become a biostatistician, you also need to learn about, you also need to learn about the medical sciences a bit. You also need to learn, if you want to become a programmer, you need to learn different additional, you need to have additional programming skills. Now, this is about acquiring the knowledge, and this acquiring of knowledge continues throughout your, as long as you are active in your career, or even beyond your career, this acquisition of knowledge continues. Now, searching for the job, that is one tricky thing. Now, first of all, many organizations are hiring freshers. How do you know whether they're hiring freshers or not? Be active in LinkedIn. Create a very good profile. So these are very, very important. See, not just learning statistics or medical sciences would not allow you to get a job. These are the things. You need to very actively create a profile in LinkedIn. You need to get connections. You need to understand. And as one of the large CROs, multinational CROs right now, are right at this point are hiring statistical programmers, and they are hiring basically they are hiring freshers. And many such CROs do that. You need to look into those opportunities and apply for those, and you have to keep applying. Not that all the jobs that you apply will click, and it's not about your capability, but it's also about getting a job is also about the organizational requirement and your fitment. So you need to, don't get demotivated if you don't get a job, because every organization, every hiring manager has certain prerequisites. This person only hires based on what this person thinks would be suitable. And it can be as good as, somebody may think that you stay in the office is in Noida and you stay in Gurgaon. This person may think that every day you may not be able to travel to Noida and Gurgaon. Based on that, the person may decide to hire somebody from Noida who is closer to the office. I mean, you never know what's going on in the hiring manager's thing. So if you do not get a job, don't get demotivated. It's not about your personal skill sets. It's about multiple other things. So keep applying, and definitely this works. Another one, as I said, that if you get to do internship, one of the ways industry does, because what is happening today, we also need resources. We also need trained resources. So we open up for internships, and definitely from these internships, from there, some of the bright ones we try to pick up, if not all. And that is how I think this is the best way. You first need to you need to understand what the industry requirements are and eventually kind of get into put your first step in the industry.
Okay, thank you, sir. So you're talking about the internship. So if let's talk about the Sun Pharma, they provide the internship. What are the like requirement if somebody want to apply for the internship? Is there an annual program or anytime they can apply after completing masters?
Yes, so for Sun Pharma, for my department, I've said that I'm still setting up a department. It has not yet been set up. It is in progress, but once it is set up, definitely we will take internship. But we have, since here in Gurgaon, we have a R&D center. Beyond statistics, basically I'm talking about, there are multiple R&D divisions and they take a number of internships, and this is something, there is a particular frequency. And this frequency is usually aligned to when the basically, the final year students are supposed to come out from the key colleges. So it is usually aligned to that. And sometimes it happens also on an ad hoc basis. I mean, you send across your application, this application is kept by the HR, and they call you when the internship things are open up. And I know there are multiple cohorts in which internships are done. And I can tell you that the moment I actually set up my biostatistics team or data management and clinical operations team, we will be hiring a number of interns, and eventually some of
I would
them
like
probably
to,
become.
sir, I would like to add on here something, and would like to let you know, see, our research field, the clinical research field, has a lot of confidentiality concerns also, right, related to data and everything. So here it's not easily, each and every company comes up and open up their R&D centers, their research labs and clinical research department for the statistician to share their confidential data. So here one suggestion is to all students, not waiting for the companies to come up with the internship programs for their, because of this confidentiality of the drug development process. It's not easy to get into the industry, and industries are absolutely not that much open. But yes, there are a lot of hospitals, a lot of research institutes are there in our country, like doctors. They are continuously doing investigated, initiated trials. So they have to reach out to hospitals, they have to reach out to research institutes, medical institutes, and there they can definitely get the exposure for internship programs. Like Dr. Pooja, she has also certain kind of setups where she also can have statisticians for internship. So other than waiting for the big companies to come up with the internship programs, statisticians should run ahead with small institutes, small organizations, and research institutes for this process.
Yeah, absolutely, because this is the era of startups. Our respected Prime Minister has started this the startup concept, and this is giving a really different direction to the world, especially in India. So I think Dr. Monica wanted to say something and on this. You are muted. Yeah.
Yeah, I think academia and research institutes are open because they work on the data which is already available in public domain. So public health can offer them, and THSTI is also accepting applications. And also BIRAC, where the National Biopharma Mission, we have a clinical trial network of 36 sites. So we can also introduce you to, I think you can write to me and I can leave my email ID on the group chat. So you're welcome to write to us. Yeah.
That would be great help, Dr. Monica. And I'm sure audience will be happy to hear your message.
Yeah.
Dr. Gayatri.
Yeah, sir.
I can tell you my experience. I was in Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma policy. Forgive me, Anirban, if my info is wrong. So Sun Pharma, they invite. But only thing, many pharma, they don't pay any internship. So biostatistician, it's very, I tried many times, but we couldn't get biostatistician as intern because supply is so less. Company will be so happy to give the internship. Supply is hardly 2,000 or 3,000 MSc. Biostatistician you will not get for internship free. They even internship, they ask money. Are you getting what I'm saying? You will not get, even if you invite them to come and join our company, as Monica is saying, or Anirban, you will not find at all. Hardly there is a biostatistics, 2,000, even 2,000 you will not get. So for biostatistician, if you have a MSc degree, it's a hot cake. If he has some intent like SAS training or some clinical GCP knowledge, it's a hot cake. Company hire them.
Okay, that's really a good thing. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So now coming back to the next question, which is like, because we have wide audience, wide audience, not only from the statistics background, our audience are from the biotechnology background. They also want to pursue their career in data sciences and medical research. So how they can go with this? I would like to ask this because biotechnology, I have been to MIT University. I have been teaching to master in biotechnology and even master in bioinformatics. So they learn SAS and they want to pursue when they got the exposure. They want to pursue their career in data sciences or medical research. They want to turn. So how they can? Is there any requirement that after even doing some software skills and masters in biotechnology, they have to have some biostatistics degree? Yeah, Dr. Arjun.
See, the idea is biotechnology guy, they may not get the admission unless he has mathematics or some stat background. Some university in west side, they also take commerce degree. But the issue is in biostat, you should have a strong math, and biology in India, they lack that. Second issue, what I have seen, unfortunately, India could not get biotechnology revolution unlike IT revolution. And we have a lots of biotech training institute. So what they have contributed, they go in data management, they go in a data science, they go in informatics like SAS learning. So those are the opportunity for them. So biotechnology, they can go anywhere. Clinical trial, SAS programming, but biostat, they can't because the biostat, it's require post-graduation degree. That is the problem. But in programming, you don't require any degree.
Okay. So how about like Dr. Monica, what is your take into it? Like, can the biotechnology postgraduate enter into the, biostatistics and biostatistician or data scientist?
Definitely data scientists because more of a data management part, but
Yes.
I don't think so.
No.
Dr. Irali and Dr. Arjun Roy would comment more because how ready they are for taking a biostatistics.
Yes.
Even you. You people have to give us a nod, we'll take them, but are they going to cater to what we require?
Yeah.
Here, Dr. Monica, I would like to add on something for
Yeah,
those
please.
students who are not statisticians and they are
Yeah.
from biotechnology, computer engineering, and they
Yeah.
want to pursue their career in research industry or data science field. Yes, they can definitely do. See, they can learn SAS, R, Python, various technologies. Some predictive models courses are online. YouTube courses are also going on. They need to understand the algorithms and predictive analysis so they can support to the development team. But I agree with Dr. Arjun and Dr. Anirban. Like, see, it's not easy to recruit any non-statistician as profile of statistics because see, during this 5 years of education, we have studied a lot of depth of modeling. So choosing the right statistical methods and developing based on that modeling, it's not easy for non-statistician just to learn by temporary 2 months, 3 months courses or 6-month courses. So here they can definitely drive their career in a SAS programming, in a R programming and Python, and they can they can work as a data engineers. That's demand is much more today in a clinical data management. Right? But in that case, statistician not possible.
So you are saying that there are two different paths. One is the statistical programmer and biostatistician. So those are different.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Biostatistician is a legal requirement degree. It's legal
Yeah.
because
He has
he's a
mentioned,
signatory, WHO or anything. He has to
Yes.
be postgraduate in statistics or equivalent. But
Yes.
in programming, there is no kind of limit.
Yeah. They can be mentored. They can be working with a statistician, but not as an independent one.
Yeah.
One thing. But other way around is correct. I have seen in my clinical trial network, all 5 networks, we have given a sanction a position of biostatistician, no data manager. So they all 5 biostatisticians are working as a data manager as well.
Okay.
Other way around is actually correct. People are doing statistics and data management, but Other way around will be a little bit more mentoring and somebody supervising them.
Yes, this question has become a very serious question when non-statisticians are working on biostatistics profile. Certain at the time of crucial area, as Dr. Arjun has in the beginning, he said the sample size, power calculation, study design area. In this area, they may not be the competent because they do not have a thorough background depth knowledge of the statistics and statistics modeling, So in that case, it would be a big challenge for the industry to recruit them as a statistician. But definitely they can be the extraordinary good data engineers, programmers, and they can join statistics programming instead of focusing on the statistical design.
Okay,
yeah, they can be on the program, but there should be some consultant or somebody on, I think, half FT or some 0.2 FT supervising them, but not as an independent person.
Yeah, so like time is running very fast. I have one last question, and then we will go to the question answer session from the YouTube live participants. So the last question is from the freelancing thing, like apart from the job, getting in either in industry or the academia. If somebody wants to do that pursue the career as a freelancer in biostatistics, so what he or she should do in this particular area. So let's start with the Dr. Arjun, then go to the Anirban, Dr. Nirali, and then Monica.
See, I'm again telling you, biostatistician is unmet need. We have a demand supply deficit, either freelancer or industry requirement. You will hardly find unemployment. Demand is very, very high. So even you are freelancer and retired, there are lots of requirements because you can apply in publication, teaching, there are lots of hospitals. And we are thankful that my boss, Dr. Indrayan, still is active. So you can imagine the contribution. So if biostatistician, if he has industry or academic background, he never retires. And all my ex-professors are still active at the age of 70, 65. So that won't be the issue. Or even in pharma industry or analytics industry, they are super active because those skills is kind of increased. So that won't be the issue, Nirali, neither with you or nor any statistician.
So yeah, as you rightly said, sir, that okay, after retirement you can do. But I want to add in this question that the like female statistician, though sometimes it is difficult for them to opt for a job. They want to be at home and work as a freelancer because they have multiple responsibilities. So what they should do, Dr. Nirali?
See, nowadays all companies are coming up with the work from home options. So I don't think so they have to choose the freelance option at this moment. But any junior level person or any other level someone would like fresher would like to start, then I would suggest here they should start with first of all internship and small level of jobs instead of starting directly the freelancing job, because they need to learn a lot of statistics and biostatistics from the industry. Without the experience, they could not start writing analysis part of the any clinical trials and designs. So that makes very much important over here. But yes, I agreed with you, as I am also the entrepreneur from last 10 years, and any of the women who doesn't want to work for the part-time or work from home for the industry, they must have to come up. They can start biostatistics, statistics programs, virtual trainings, statistical trainings. As Vaishnavi, we have that, she's also into that, right? And they can start taking the projects, and there are a lot of firms who are providing these projects like that, Dr. Pooja, and then there are many other firms out there. They are providing such projects to freelancer statisticians. So all women who wanted to work from the home and cannot go to the company, please feel free to reach out to me. I could guide you.
Yes, yes. There are many successful lady like what Nirali is saying as a statistician, freelancing. Successful. In India, I know many ladies and they are names of Vaishnavi or Dr. Gupta, and they work from just like an independent statistician or data monitoring committee or consultant based on their past experience and highly respected.
Dr. Monica, you want to add something in this for the freelancing?
Definitely, I think there are a lot of roles they are playing. So I think publication, manuscript help is actually one thing that is also coming to freelance part of it. if it is something that needs physical interaction with the clinician or something, then I think that when the physical presence is required. Otherwise, I think a lot of work, and I think statistician is one role which can easily be managed because you are not required to be present all the time in the hospital or the research institute. So I think so it's possible. And I think we have opportunities, but definitely initial few years needs to be in the like a mentored role, and then they can take a possible.
Yes. Dr. Anirban, would you like to add?
Sure. So no, I have my viewpoint here is that freelancing is absolutely fine, and today's world, basically, as Dr. Arjun said, that there's a huge demand. So even freelancers are super busy, but that's not going to happen 15 years down the line. I tell you, when I joined clinical research, exactly that. I mean, 20-25 years back, what we are seeing right now in biostatistics exactly used to happen in clinical research. There was we all were in high demand, but there was a time came eventually talents were infused into the industry through training, through different courses. When I joined clinical research, it's only through MPharm pharmacology. Only clinical research was Declaration of Helsinki. Today we have MSc in clinical research available. So this is going to happen 15-20 years down the line. So I believe that this mayhem will not be there. Now, as a freelancer, freelancer is actually, as a start, Nirali said, it is a starting thing of an entrepreneur. Now, as a freelancer alone, you can probably do in a month 5 projects, but can you actually earn money? And if we think earning money is our end point, then can you earn enough money by running 5 projects in a month for 15 years or 20 years? Basically, you need to expand that. Now, how would you expand that? Then you start setting up a company. So if you want to really take up freelancing as a career, then I would say don't call it freelancing, call it entrepreneurship as a career. Have a long-term view that this is what I want to build. Start as a freelancer, but build something where you generate jobs, you generate talents, whatever. So, but that should be your visibility. Right? If you are just thinking of freelancing because of flexibility, flexibility is not a constraint today. All sorts of flexibilities are available across the industry now, which will allow anybody to work in their own comfort level. So those are very much there. But as I said, that freelancing is again totally think of freelancing from a bigger perspective.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. This is absolutely great advice.
Yeah. So let's go to the question answer session because we are already late, but we have to take because audience are listening patiently to us. So Prajakta Shinde asked that are there any particular software should I learn to get job in biostatistics field? So this is related to I will suggest that statistician better can answer Dr. Arjun Roy and Dr. Nirali.
Yes, SAS is really all. I don't endorse, but ultimately all medical reviewer and SAS has a good kind of data processing kind of software. So SAS is hot demand in pharmaceutical, but same time R is also catching up. So
yes, sir. And sir, here I'd like to add on the way R is coming up, the another side, the chat GPT is also coming up. So here any programs are not difficult to write using chat GPT. They just have to frame their data and they can get the programs. So here I'm adding sir's point that instead of focusing on statistical softwares and programming hardcore, first of all, as a statistician, you must have to focus on your fundamental of statistics. Secondly, each and every tools which are coming to the market, not limited to SAS and R, right? Even in the bio industries, now many industries have developing artificial intelligence software based on Python and R combination. Okay, somewhere it is SAS and R combination is going on. So the main focus is the softwares will keep on coming and they are keep on changing their demands in the market. If you look at your 35 years of your career in industry, I personally suggest that you have to focus on all programming and learning language. It is just tool. In the previous session, our professor has said that these are the vehicles, these are the tools. We need to travel one stage to another stage. These softwares are the tools. Earlier, the SPSS was so much into the demand. Now people are using SAS. Future might be something else, you know. So in that case, what do you suggest, Dr. Arjun? This is just
no, I agree with you, but I can tell you, SAS has the way that the kind of place what they occupied. This is the first software which came in 1972. Jim Goodnight from North Carolina, and he put the annual licensing fees. No other software. See, I'm not endorsing again. This is a good thing. SAS is the only company still private limited. SAS is the only company I am telling you is still indirectly occupying pharma space. All big pharma, they cannot get out. And indirectly in SAS like CD submission, TLF submission, you can get some other tool also. But normally the demand and salary, if you have SAS trained, demand is
but Sarah, today another challenge, what as a trainer I can see that there are minimum 500, 600 and 1000 SAS certified students are there in the market, but they're still jobless. So here focus has to be on your logical and reasoning skills, how to utilize the software instead of the tag mark. I have seen many are paying 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs rupees fees to learn certain kind of softwares. So instead of just focusing the certification of the software, you must focus on your logical and reasoning skills along with the statistical fundamentals.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So this is really a good interaction. Now we have another question with Dakshesh Patel. I am pharma strategic marketer. I want to learn biostatistics. Is there any good institute which help me learning biostats? And for this question, I will invite all the panelists from the panel 1 and panel 2, and we will wrap up quickly.
See, biostat hardly taught at 6 to 10 institute. Biostat is not taught many places. I told you hardly will get 1,000 or 2,000 annually. So I don't think he can get through pharma market any university like University of Pune, stat degree is there, ISA is there, Delhi University there. So they have entrance test or BHU. So they may not give so biostat any coaching or private institute cannot give degree. It's a UGC recognized. But diploma, they can get in statistics from many places. Diploma, but degree, they may not get unless some like Manipal or some in Gujarat side, I think Baroda or somewhere. They can try that. But they have again limitation of commerce, math, stat. Pharmacy, I'm not sure they can give degree. Chance is less in India.
Yeah, but they can learn statistics. See, statistics is not that much difficult subject as we all are thinking. It's
public health.
Fundamental. Yeah, it's just it. So there are a lot of medical statisticians book. The MBBS first year students are BK Mahajan is the author. There is a basic statistics book you must have to study. I'm answering the question to Dakshesh, and that is very helpful, you know, to understand medical terminology along with the basic statistical methods. So I think this book will be helpful to him. And it's very much in a layman language. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Sharvari, you want to add something on this?
No, sorry, I missed the question.
It is regarding the, one person is in pharma strategy and he want to learn statistics. So he's asking that, is there any course he can pursue and become excel in this biostatistics as well?
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to us, like Symbiosis Statistical Institute, and I'm very happy, like Dr. Roy was also mentioning a little bit about the same thing. So I feel that we offer master's courses with specialization as biostatistics, and we do have pool of expertise at Symbiosis Statistical Institute. But however, I could see I agree with Dr. Nirali that you can definitely top up your skill by taking some kind of courses with Coursera and all those kind of things. That is definitely helpful.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So we will wrap up this second round of panel discussion. If anybody wants to add the last note on that, they can add. So this is something like what we summarize from the industry, CRO, and public health. If you want to pursue your career, you have to because data science and public health and biostatistics, these are the three different direction. You can see the branches of this one particular field. So if you want to learn and you want to pursue your career as a data scientist, there are a number of courses which you can pursue. Number of organizations are providing. You have already got the information from Dr. Nirali, Dr. Pooja, Dr. Sharvari. They have given a good number of institutes. They are providing the courses. But as Dr. Arjun and other persons are emphasizing, Dr. Srinivasan, that biostatistics totally different field, and you must have that degree and analytical skill, that you have to develop through this courses and by learning and doing. And the panelist also emphasizes the internship program, because just only getting master degree in statistics will not suffice until unless you are applying it to the real field. So internship program is must, and a lot of industry and companies, they are providing. Even THSTI, as Dr. Monica mentioned, that they are also providing the internship program. So they can pursue that.
Last
Yeah,
message.
Dr.
Yeah, one last message I would like to say that, this all process, learning of softwares, learning of projects about biostatistics, all students should start when they are studying MSc. After coming out, there is a large and huge competition out, and many are waiting for to compete you. So if you really wanted to understand your subjects, and Dr. Pooja in earlier session, someone has mentioned that during the BSc, after BSc or after bachelor, for some time they have to do internship or the job, and again come back to the master degree, and again go to the industry. This is also helpful, or parallel to their study, if they can do basic thesis projects and some basic biostatistics freelancing project. This all process should start from the first year of my MSc, not in the last semester of the MSc. So I also request the professors and education system sitting over here, they also have to think about that industry really looking for the skill sets. Now they are not ready to train anybody after recruiting. So the students and academia must have to understand, they have to learn everything in the beginning of their career, beginning of their education they started. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
So one
everyone.
more point, Dr. Gayatri, which I wish to bring to the panelists thing. In panel one, we were discussing about the gap between two domains and things like this. But I'm very happy that with the National Education Policy 2020, once we start implementing, and I am very happy at Symbiosis Statistical Institute, we started implementing the National Education Policy. Where we can offer major course like a major in the applied statistics and data science, with minor, say for example business studies, for example operations, for example finance. So with this kind of blends, I feel that this gap will be getting reduced very slowly, and then we can have a lot of interdisciplinarity. So like our hashtag is interpreting uncertainty, that is really required. And I think that student must understand that they also need to understand about the, visualization techniques, which we have not touched upon. So they also need to understand the technology. Plus, once they start understanding from where data is coming into the picture, then that interpreting uncertainty will really make sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all the panelists for enlightening our young ones with the lot of information. I think they must get satisfied, and they have got a lot of information about the institution and what they have to do, internship and other software programs, where they want to go. Now, before going to the last session of the vote of thanks, I will hand over to Lakshmi. But before that, I would like to request Dr. Indrayan sir to add last words in this, and then we will wrap up the session.
Thank you, Gayatri. You have worked very hard to conduct this session, and organize this session, and to conduct this session. And I really appreciate the way you have taken up the challenge. And
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure that the participants on YouTube must be delighted to learn the views of the panelists. We have some excellent panelists in this session, and I thank, on my behalf, I thank everybody, the panelists and the participants, for making it a grand success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, like every year, we have the different themes. Like we have been organizing this from the last 3 years. Sometimes we take the theme of like what are the problems in designing the protocol from the statistics perspective we get sometimes. So this time, this theme is proposed by Lakshmi. Thank you, Lakshmi. It is very important theme you have. And once she has suggested, because she is the young one, she know that what are the challenges, and we accepted this is wonderful theme, and then we are going to take up. Over to you, Lakshmi, for vote of thanks. Thank you.
So much, ma'am.
Your voice is breaking, Lakshmi. I think there's a network problem. Are you sharing your screen?
Thank you so much for
I think there is a
Your
network issue.
camera, that will be better.
Lakshmi, your voice is breaking. We can't hear you properly. Can you reconnect? Lakshmi, we are not getting your voice. There's a network problem from your end, I guess.
It has been such an honor to be the part of this wonderful event. No, ma'am. Sharing.
I think
is it clear right now?
Yeah, it is better now. Yeah.
I put my camera off.
Yeah, put your camera off.
Right now, is it okay?
Yeah, this is better.
Left, I guess.
I think she will join again. Lakshmi, are you there? There's some network glitch. Just wait for a minute and then we'll wrap up, because she has prepared that vote of thanks. She has done a wonderful job. She has been with me 24/7 for
She's reconnecting or what?
I think she is reconnecting, sir. So we'll wait for half more minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Otherwise, I'll do this. So meanwhile, we have our BC founder member, Dr. Smita, Dr. Rajiv with us. Dr. Smita and Dr. Rajiv, till the Lakshmi joins.
Yes,
would you like to add something about this program? Yeah, she joined.
Yeah, actually, congratulations to BC and all of us for such a wonderful celebration of National Statistics Day. And the theme was actually very different. And I am quite impressed and touched by it, as you know, because currently, since ICMR has given a guidelines like the project staff, they will not take more than 3 years. So it is really, for me, it's a burning topic, because statistician also work under us and things like that. So right now, our statistician, the biostatistician Satyendra Singh, his tenure is going to complete, and there are few other project staff are also. So I have shared the announcement with them also. So they might also be. I'm happy that they might also get benefited out of it. And these are the topics that, like, this type of topic people usually don't think of. I also conduct at NICPR. I am from ICMR NICPR. So we also conduct research methodology workshops and things like that. But this is the thing which is actually important. So congratulations a lot to everyone and especially to Gayatri. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So I think Lakshmi is here. Lakshmi, can you hear us? And quickly.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible right now?
Yeah, Lakshmi.
Okay, I'm sorry. I lost my internet connection. So it has been such an honor on the behalf of the Biostatistics Consortium. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our organizers and our esteemed panelists. And a special thanks to our president, Dr. Abhay Indrayan, sir, who had this plan to celebrate this National Statistics Day with all of us and had a plan to enlighten the future statistician. And thank you so much, sir, for always inspiration and guidance.
I think she is having some network issue. She left again. What happened? Lakshmi, you can switch off your camera. Okay, no problem. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Lakshmi, I would like to thank everyone, and on behalf of Biostatistics Consortium.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Gayatri,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Indrayan, Raji.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr. Gayatri,
all the
and
members. God
thank
bless
you,
you and
Dr.
keep
Indrayan.
continuing in spreading
Thank you.
biostatistics for everybody. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
So
Bye.
with your all continuous support, we can do it and we can improve the quality of medical research.
Sure,
Thank you,
sure.
everyone.
God bless.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining.